Mark van der Vijver, who is with a very interesting distillery that has not had a whiskey yet, but will have one in a couple of days or weeks or so. And that's, as you may see on the button, he has Aberargie.
Yes.
Yes. This is, when was it founded? Everybody would suspect it was founded 3 years ago, because now there's a whiskey.
Exactly. This is the norm. So it was actually founded in November 2017. So we've been quietly working away, distilling some delicious spirits and putting it into wood. And Jamie Morrison's been incredibly patient. But we're ready.
Do you know any other distillery in Scotland who waited for 7 or 8 years to bring out?
That's a great question. I don't know offhand, but I think if we look at sort of the new generation of distilleries, for sure not. There's, a lot of reasons why you'd want to launch with a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old, and we certainly have no judgment over those decisions. Everyone is doing their own thing, but I think it's a pleasure to be bringing something mature to the whiskey community.
Yeah. Before we talk about the whiskey, let's talk about the what makes Aberargie different from other distilleries, because you have strong points on how you do it, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The vision is really clear, and it's informed by 5 generations of whiskey makers. So, the Morrison family have been in the industry doing all sorts of things for a very long time, and Jamie has grown up in that world, and he's drawn from things that really resonated. So Aberargie is essentially 4 key things: Golden Promise Heritage Barley, Laureate Barley, First Fill Bourbon, and First Fill Sherry Wood. So whenever you pick up a glass of Aberargie, you will expect to have all of those things in the glass in different combinations.
But you would call it a very traditional whiskey, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we've been really clear that we're not here to innovate or disrupt the market. We're here to make just really good single malt whiskey that's been informed by 5 generations of whiskey people. So we're quietly confident, and Jamie's made some really key decisions around not just the barley type, but also the wood as well. So there's a lot going on there, but ultimately it's about control. Right. It's about having as much impact across all the elements as possible directly. So, it is a family farmed barley to bottle distillery. So we're 1 hour north of Edinburgh in Perthshire. On that farm where we have our distillery and our whiskey operation, we're growing the Golden Promise Heritage Barley, and that's bringing some great sort of structure and character to the spirit conversation. Right. And then Jamie has a couple of other farms where he's growing Laureate Barley, and what that brings is some balance with some consistent, clean freshness and fruitiness. And then everything is going into this wood. And again, Jamie has taken real care to ensure that he's getting casks directly from the source in America and in Spain, shipping them whole to Aberargie, non-rinsed, non-steamed, to have the greatest value on the spirit that the team have been working on. So it's incredibly exciting, as you can tell.
Now, let's talk about the first whiskey that will be out in early March, mid-March.
Yes.
Describe it for us, please.
Yes, wow. In making this decision as to how do we want to introduce the brand, we think one of the key messages around what we're doing is working with Golden Promise barley. These days, there's only a few people that are prepared to invest in what is a very costly barley to grow, but with the confidence of the quality that it brings. So the inaugural release is going to have slightly more Golden Promise barley, so it'll have 52% Golden Promise barley in the mix and 48% Laureate barley to balance. And we also, as a team, and this is everyone has their own opinion, but as a Morrison team, we feel that Golden Promise really shines in sherry casks. So the mix is 50% sherry, 50% bourbon, and obviously with the nature of the sherry, it's going to have a strong voice, and that's going to support the Golden Promise. So 48.2% alcohol, really good drinking strength. It is rich, fruity, deep, structured, layered. It just tastes really considered.
And with all that, we had the pleasure to try a sip before that.
Yes.
Very smooth, easygoing, drinkable whiskey.
Totally, and this is really consistent across the Morrison portfolio. When you look at Mactala and you look at Old Perth in particular, these are created for drinking.
Yeah.
You know, they're well made, everything is authentic, natural color, non-chill filtered, etc. So people will recognize Aberargie within that tone.
And though we are not discussing prices here, but what we can tell is that people will be pleasantly surprised by the price point, right?
Absolutely, it's priced to drink, and when people compare inaugural releases from other businesses, I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, made for drinking.
So thank you for your time. And we're looking forward to having this whiskey here in Germany.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks so much. Lovely to talk to you.